Hello, my PS81 friends. Welcome to week 8 of remote learning. Can you believe we've been doing this for 8 weeks? I am so proud of all the work that you guys have been doing. Really, truly, you're working really, really hard, and I'm so proud of each and every one of you. So before I show you the activity that we're going to do this week, I would like to share a book with you. This book is called The Monster Who Did My Math, written by Danny Schnitzline, illustrated by Bill Meyer. There once was a time I was frightened by numbers. They scared me at school, and they haunted my slumbers. My brain had some kind of allergic reaction to multiplication, addition, subtraction. My blood would run cold at the thought of division, and decimal points would put spots in my vision. But now I see math from a new point of view. This is my story. I swear it's all true. It was late on a Sunday and long past my bath. I had waited all weekend to work on my math. I opened the book and my hands started shaking. My forehead was sweating. My stomach was aching. My vision went blurry. I wanted to run. If only, I cried, all this homework were done. The clock chimed a warning with 12 hollow tones. My spine began tingling. A chill froze my bones. Outside in the yard, lightning flashed with a boom, and a creature took shape in my shadowy room. His horns were bright red, and his cape midnight black, and his pencil-y fingers tapped clickety-clack. He looks kind of scary. Boo-hoo, growled the monster. I'm feeling your pain. This awful arithmetic's draining your brain. Say hasta luego to multiplication. Forget your subtraction. Go take a vacation. It's fast and it's painless and all guaranteed. Just sign on the line and you'll get what you need. I signed as he sharpened his fingers and thumbs. He added the addends and figured their sums. He gave me my copy and raised one eyebrow. Pay later, he asked, or settle up now? Later, I answered. He laughed long and deep. In a flash he was gone, and I went right to sleep. At school Monday morning, my homework was praised. Their answers were perfect, my teacher amazed. My problems were solved in more ways than one, and no one but me could say how it was done. I looked at my homework that night, tons of graphing. I called for the monster. He couldn't stop laughing. You kids of today are pathetic and lazy. Your minds are all mushy. Your morals are hazy. He graphed all the points, then he figured my bill. I'll pay later, I said, and he growled, yes, you will. Ha, ha, ha. The teacher looked over my work the next day. I couldn't believe it. She gave me an A. But then Mrs. Markov said, come to the board. She wrote an equation. My temperature soared. My guts did a skydive. My knobby knees knocked. My classmates were giggling. The clock ticked and talked. I prayed I might vanish like some kind of ghost. The teacher was fuming. My hiney was toast. I called that old creep when I got home from school. You burned me, I told him. I felt like a fool. He rolled out my contract and showed the fine print. Look here, said the monster. You might need to squint. In paragraph 7 of clause 93, if you don't learn anything, do not blame me. My blood began boiling. My cheeks turned bright red. Hit Hit the road, take a hike. Don't come back here, I said. I'll go, snarled the monster. There's just one more thing. Your bill comes to $64. Cha-ching! I busted my bank and he snatched up my money. He counted and snickered. I asked, what's so funny? Your total is lacking by $252. Your math needs improvement, but what else is new? I tore up my room in the quest for more cash. 3 pennies plinked out when I dumped out the trash. Deep down in my dresser, I dug out a buck. 2 quarters turned up in a shoebox. What luck! I did some addition and added the stuff. Only $153. It wasn't enough. How much would I need to complete the transaction? I picked up my pencil and did some subtraction. From $252, I took $153, just 99 cents, and I'd finally be free. Way down in the hamper, 8 nickels were shining. I fished out 6 dimes from my winter coat lining. My change came to 40 plus 60 cents more. My heart thumped and jumped as I totaled the score. All the money was there with a penny to spare. I cheered and did cartwheels. I jumped in the air. He flipped me a penny and shredded my bill. He left snarling, call me, you know that you will. My homework that night was on decimal places. I opened the book and made horrible faces. I pulled out some paper and worked problem 1 with a hint of a grin. Could it be? Was this fun? As I worked problem 2, I was starting to think, for the very first time, maybe math doesn't stink. Then deep in the shadows, I sensed someone lurking. I knew who it was, so I kept right on working. You need me, he bellowed. He thundered and roared, but the louder he got, well, the more I ignored. And while I was carefully writing and thinking, I couldn't believe it. That monster was shrinking. The more I kept working, the smaller he got, till he shrank to the size of a wee little dot. I glanced at the guy, just a minuscule speck. Then I looked at my homework and said, what the heck? I scooped him right up. I can still see his face. And I dropped him right down in a decimal points place, the point in the middle of 7.9. I smushed him down flat, and he stuck there just fine. I finished my homework and climbed into bed, remembering something the monster had said. If you don't pay up front, you'll pay later instead. And though that old monster was far from a friend, and his service is one that I can't recommend, he did make a very good point in the end. I hope you enjoyed that book. It does have a really good message that, if you don't work hard, you're not gonna get anything out of schoolwork, or you're not gonna learn anything if you don't do it, or you have somebody else do it, which can be really convenient sometimes. But in the end, you're the one that pays, just like the monster and the little boy said. You'll pay later instead. With that being said, we are going to play a fun game to help you with your multiplication tables, and it's called Multiplication Bowling. Boys and girls, I am a very big fan of multiplication. If you have trouble with if you take your time to learn your multiplication now, math in 4th grade, math in 5th grade is going to be super, super easy. Super easy, I promise. So, Sorry, technical difficulties with the computer. Okay, multiplication bowling. Woohoo! Okay, so what you're going to need to gather first is you're going to need 10 cups, or hit the recycling bin for some cans or plastic bottles, something that you could use as pins for bowling. I have some cups, and you're going to set them up. You're going to need 10 of them. So the way you're going to set them up is 4 of the objects that you gathered for pins in the back. 4. And then the next row has 3. Then the next row is going to have 2. And then the last row is going to have 1. So it's going to be set up just like regular bowling, the pins in regular bowling. Now you need to decide how much each pin is going to be worth. That's going to change with each game. Every pin is going to be worth the same amount. So since we made accordion books a couple of weeks ago working with 5s, I'm going to make every pin worth 5. You're also going to need to get a ball. I have a tennis ball. You could use any kind of ball that you want, but kind of look at the size. If you had a big old basketball, these little tiny cups would just get crushed. So if you have a big basketball, then you are going to have to find something to use for pins that's a little bit bigger than bathroom cups. And you're going to need to make a recording sheet. There should be at least 2 players, and everybody needs to have their own recording sheet. The recording sheet is going to look like this. There's going to be 4 columns. The first column is going to be the round number. There's going to be a total of 10 rounds. Then the second column is going to be the number of pins you knock down. The third column is what each pin is worth. And the last column is you're going to find your total points, or the product. So how you do that is you're going to take the number of pins that you knock down, times it by how much each pin is worth, and then you're going to get the total points for that round. Like I just said, since we worked on our 5 times tables with that cool accordion book, I'm going to make each one 5. So for the first game, each of the pins is going to be 5. Here's the rest. I didn't have room on one side, so I kind of had to do it on the other side. So that column is going to be all done. See? So then what you're going to do is you're going to set them up against a wall. On a counter is not really the best place for it, because as you're going to see when I roll the ball, it's going to roll all over the place, it's going to bounce. I may or may not find it for the next time, but you'll get the idea. So you take the ball and you're going to roll it. I only knocked down 1 pin, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to put 1 pin knocked down. Then I need to find the total points of my round 1. 1 times 5 equals 5. And then the next player would go. You would reset up your pins. 4, 3, 2, 1, and you would get the ball. Again, setting it up against a wall is the best bet. And then the second player is going to go. They're going to have their own recording sheet. Then let's say it's back to you. You're going to roll it. Woo! I knocked down a lot that time. I knocked down 4 pins. They're stuck together this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I knocked down, I'm going to get my recording sheet. I knocked down 4 pins. Each pin is worth 5 points. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 points for my second round. When you're done with all the rounds, you need to get the total points for the game. Total points for this game. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the last column, your total points for all the rounds, and you're going to add them together. So I only demonstrated 2 rounds. I would add up this. 5 plus 20 is 25. So my total points for this game would be 25. And then the next game you would play, you would pick a different value for the cups. Pick a value between 2 and 12, because that's the multiplication tables you guys were working on in class. We left out 0 and 1. You may say, Mrs. Tibbetts, those are real important. Well, you'll practice them whether you knock down 0 pins or you knock down 1 pin, which you saw I did the first time I did it. And you guys know that any number times 0 is, you get it, 0. And any number times 1 is always the other number. So those are kind of easier ones. So we're going to focus on 2 to 12. I hope you have fun playing this game, boys and girls. If you could take a picture of your recording sheet and send it to me either on the assignment itself through chats, or email it to me at btibbetts@schools.nyc.gov. I hope you have fun. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.